Today we are going to learn the executive president and vice president chapter. We'll revise this chapter from most likely ICSE question banks for history and civics. So let's start with the notes. President. The president is the head of the state and the supreme commander of the defense force of India. As per the 42nd Amendment Act, it is necessary for the president to exercise his or her functions in accordance with the advice of Council of Ministers. Vice President. Article 63 stipulates that there shall be a Vice President of India. Now, let's talk about President and Vice President point wise. Now, qualification. President should be a citizen of India, should be minimum of 35 years of age, qualified for the election as a member of Lok Sabha, and should not hold any office of profit under the union or state government. Whereas if you talk about Vice President, he should be a citizen of India, of course, should be minimum of 35 years of age, qualified for the election as a member of Rajya Sabha, and should not hold any office of profit under union or state government. So if you compare these two, president and vice president, only this third point is different. He should be qualified for the election as a member of Lok Sabha, and here it is Rajya Sabha. So it is very important to make the notes from such books. I'll give you the link of this book also in the description box, so it is easy for you to revise. Now, term of office. Here also for president it's 5 years, for vice president it is 5 years. Powers, when we talk, executive powers, discretionary powers, legislative powers, emergency powers, financial powers, diplomatic powers, judicial powers, and military powers. I've explained you this chapter in detail. This is just as a revision, okay, chapter at a glance. Now, if you talk about powers of vice president, ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha, taking over as the president on his death, removal or resignation. Now, nomination. A presidential candidate will have to be proposed by 50 members of electoral college and seconded by another 50 members. Okay, now when we talk about vice president, he should be proposed by at least 20 electors, MPs, and seconded by another 20 electors. Now, election of the president is done with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable votes by the members of electoral college, whereas for vice president through the members of both the houses with the system of proportional representation. Oath of office, takes oath in presence of Chief Justice of India or in absence of the senior-most judge of the Supreme Court. Here takes oath before the president. Now, impeachment can be removed from office by impeachment for violation of the constitution by resolution passed by both the houses. And for the impeachment of vice president, he can be removed from the office by impeachment for violation of the constitution. Now, only the comparison of electoral college is left. Now, elected members of both the houses of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Next, so these are the four parts of composition of electoral college. One is the elected members of both the houses of parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Next is elected members of the legislative assemblies of states including 2 union territories, Delhi and Puducherry. Then the election of the president is held in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of single transferable vote, and the voting at such election is by secret ballot. And then nominated members of Rajya Sabha and state assemblies are not eligible. So these crisp last moment revision notes were taken from most likely ICSE question bank for history and civics. Along with chapter at a glance, they have a word of advice by experts, previous year's board questions, and they have all the type of questions. You can see short answer type questions 1, questions 2. Okay. Then they have lot of other questions. So all the questions are there with the answers, long answer type questions, picture based questions and everything. So I'll give you the link of this particular book in the description box. You can go ahead and have a look at this book.